Hi, it's Steph. Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to be doing another record purge video where I'm going through my entire record collection and picking out the records that I don't listen to or that are too thrashed to keep. So if you're into that, stick around. And so before I begin, I just want to make a couple of announcements. I know there have been some people reaching out asking if I'm okay, meaning I live in California and we've had some pretty devastating fires going on in Southern California. It's about 200 miles away from me, so I am perfectly fine, and thank you for your concern. I do want to say for all the people that are my YouTube friends and the people that I watch on YouTube, I hope you all are doing okay down there, and all of our thoughts are with you, and hopefully they will get control of all the madness that's happening down there. It's just devastating. I've seen the footage and watched the news, and it's just really scary stuff. Okay, on a second note, on a more happier note, I am going to be doing a live stream tomorrow, but I'm going to be doing it a little bit later than I normally do. So I try and do a live stream every other Sunday. And so this Sunday, instead of doing my live stream at 9, I'm going to be doing it at 11 a.m., which is Pacific Standard Time. And I have another special guest. So last time I had Catherine, and this time I'm going to have Steve Harold. And hey, y'all. So he's going to be on my live stream tomorrow. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm going to rack his brain a little bit, and he's going to share a few records. We're going to do some music news, and we're going to chat with all of you live. So if you can make it tomorrow, Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Eastern Time, I believe that's 2 p.m. So just so you know, hope you can make it. If not, we will record it and it'll be in my live stream section. And do subscribe to Steve Harold if you haven't heard of him. Check him out. I'll put his info in my description box below, just so you know. Okay, so let's start with some record purging. So this first one is called The Shearing Touch, Magnificent Performances of Great Piano Favorites, string choir conducted by Billy May. This is a Capitol Records release, and I'm going to get rid of this one because there's no record in here, and that doesn't really provide any value to me or anyone else. So I'm sure it's a lovely record, but it's going to go. This next one is Batman, as on the ABC theme television series Batman. How cool is this? I really love this. This is so awesome. Unfortunately, when I opened this up and played it, the Batman theme song skips. It's got a nasty skip. This is from Design Records. This is from the 60s. It's a very papery textured cover. It's a beautiful cover. I almost want to keep it just for the cover, but I'm gonna painfully part with this. This next one is a keeper, and this is Richard Hell and the Voidoids, and this is their second release. Their first one was Blank Generation, and that was a really good one, but this is also an excellent album here. And if you don't know who Richard Hell is, he was born in Kentucky. He got really famous in a band in New York called the Heartbreakers with Johnny Thunders. They were a really famous New York punk band. This is some of his solo stuff. And he was also married, on a side note, to Patti Smythe from the band called Scandal, which I always thought was an interesting combination with his image and her image that I knew of in the 80s. But I mean, you never know. Don't judge a book by its cover. And on that note, he is also a great poet and writer. He's got books out, and he's just an all-around cool guy. I really love this album. There are songs on this album featured in a movie called Smithereens, which he actually acted in. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's a pretty interesting snapshot of the early 80s in New York. It's a pretty depressing movie, so just a disclaimer there, but interesting indeed. And let's get on to the music on this album. So there's a song on here called The Kid with a Replaceable Head, which is freaking awesome. There's also a cover of a song from a blues artist called Mississippi Fred McDonald. And I had to look that up because I didn't know who did the original. But you may know the song You Gotta Move from the Rolling Stones that did a cover of it. But it's just a really awesome song. And Going, Going Gone's a good one. Staring in Your Eyes, Destiny Street is a really, really cool song. And I like the song Downtown at Dawn. I Can Only Give You Everything's also a really great song. I really love this album, and so I'm definitely keeping this one. I am not going to get rid of that one. Okay, so next, another keeper. This is Blanc Mage, and this is early 80s new wave dance music, and this features two really great songs, Living on the Ceiling and Feel Me, and so I'm going to keep this one as well. And next one, another keeper. This is Toto Coelho, and this is a really kind of a humorous band. They're kind of campy. This is a Chrysalis release, and this features the hit song I Eat Cannibals, and it has the extended version, and then also on the other side it's got Mucho Macho. And here are the ladies of the band called Toto Coelho, and Lindsay, Lacey, Anita, Sheen, and Ross. And as you can see, they're wearing trash bags as dresses, which is totally awesome. And so if you're into early 80s campy new wave, definitely check them out if you haven't already heard of them, and I'm keeping that one. Another keeper is this album from the early 80s. This is Marshall Crenshaw's debut release, and you can see it's very kind of new wave, power pop-ish looking cover there and music. And this album is notably popular for the song Cynical Girl, and the reason why I purchased this album is for the song Someday, Someway, and he's a pretty great artist. This was a Warner Brothers release, and very cool, and he is touring currently, and he has been doing some work with the Smithereens as their vocalist since their singer Pat died. And so, yeah, if you're into Marshall Crenshaw, I just looked it up. He's still touring, and definitely keeping that one. This one I might need your help on, everybody. I don't know much about this. This is called The Balancing Act, New Campfire Songs. And I'm going to keep this one, but I don't know anything about it. I don't like to get rid of albums I haven't done research about that seem kind of rare. This is Type A Records and from Los Angeles, and Primitive Man Recording Company. And I'm not sure what kind of music this is. My guess is it's alternative rock. The cool thing about this one, it was produced by Peter Case. And if you don't already know, Peter Case was the singer of the Plimsolls. And it has Willie Aaron on guitar, Robert Blackman on drums, Jeff Davis on guitar, and Steve Wagner on bass. And it was recorded at Track Records, Los Angeles, November 28, 1985, and February 29th, 1986. And so if any of you know, please let me know. I'm going to keep that one. I've had that one for quite a long time. This one is another band that looks kind of like a possibly new wave rock power pop band that I have maybe listened to but never listened to twice. This is called The Ascenders, and it says specially priced 6 songs. And look at these guys. This guy has some Joe Jackson shoes going on there. And let's see here. This was the Boardwalk Entertainment Co. And Just a Matter of Time, She's in Love, Make My Own Rules, Girls, About It, All My Dreams. And so if any of you know anything about this one, Let me know. I'm curious. I'm keeping it for now. Another cool one that I've had for ages, and I really actually like this one a lot. This is Ian North, and he was the singer of a band that was a power pop band and a glam rock band in the 70s called Milk and Cookies. And this was a solo album by him, and it's very progressive. It's like new wave electronic music, and I believe this came out in, let's see, 1980. Let me just double check here. I'm not seeing a date, but I know it was very early 80s, and this is really great new wave. Not only does it have a really awesome cover on it, but the music's really good, and it's just really good synth music. And Ian North, here it is, My Girlfriend's Dead. And the song I really liked, it was the first, as soon as I heard the first track on side one, Remember My Name, I was like, this is really great. So yeah, here's the date, 1980, and definitely keeping this one. Bizarre, cool, ahead of its time, Ian North, solo stuff. Okay, I know I've shared this one to you before, and this one is another one I'm gonna keep. You know I love my comps. This is a Christmas record, improved special 1982 edition, and it's just got Christmas songs from Christina, The Waitresses, Suicide, Was Not Was, August Darnell, Material with Nona Hendrix. And so I'm going to keep this one. Another keeper is this Soft Cell Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret. This is a total classic. I know a lot of you have this. This one has the very classic song Tainted Love on it. Of course, Sex Dwarf is on here. CD Films is great. Entertain Me, Chips on My Shoulders, one of my favorites on here. The Bed Sitters, one of my favorites, a little depressing. As well as Say Hello, Wave Goodbye. This features Mark Almond on vocals. And yeah, 1981, Some Bizarre Sire. Definitely keeping that one. That's some really good classic stuff there. Okay, this one I'm going to part with. This is Up with People in Hollywood, world famous Sing Out Explosion featuring the Cole brothers, Linda Blackmore, and the three national casts. And I listened to this. It's not my jam. I'm just not into it. I can appreciate it artistically and musically, but it's just, maybe it's a generational thing, but I'm just not into it. This is Pace Records. It's got a really cool cover. It's in really great shape. So I will probably donate this one. And next, from my Gary Numan collection, this is Dance. And I believe this is 1981, yes. So Slow Car to China is really good on here. Night Talk's really good on here. The song She's Got Claws is a really great song. And so I'm definitely keeping this one. You can see he's got his white shoes with his suit on it, and his hat, and his pale makeup, his frosted lipstick. Very cool Gary Numan album, keeping that one. This one here, Hugo Winterhalter and his orchestra, The Eyes of Love, RCA Victor release. And I'm sure this is great, but I've had it. I don't listen to it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Next is Black Sabbath, Paranoid. This is an original copy. It's thrash, but the vinyl plays good. It's got War Pigs and Paranoid on it. It's an old classic. I'm going to keep it. Next is the George Shearing Quintet and his orchestra, Blue Chiffon. This is kind of like loungy jazz music, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to keep this one. This one I'm going to keep. This is Eddie Money, and this was a 1977 release, and I really like Eddie Money. I think he's a great rock and roll performer. He's just got a lot of style. This one has 2 Tickets to Paradise on it. Baby, hold on. You really got to hold on me. So love this one. Wish I had a better copy. I'll pick up a better copy of it one day. And Eddie Money, such great style. R.I.P. And one more to go, and I'm not going to keep this one. This is Melissa Manchester, Hey Ricky, and although I do recognize her vocal talent on this album, I think it's full of what I call a lot of filler, and I just really couldn't get into this album. Hey Ricky was kind of a cool song, but maybe have to listen to it several times to get into it. I believe she did get a Grammy for this song, You Should Hear How She Talks About You, which is kind of like an anthem of the 80s, and I believe also featured in a movie. I can't think of what the movie it was in, but that was a pretty good song, and I do like that song, but not enough to keep this album. So yeah, she is an amazing artist, but I don't think this is an amazing album, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. And on that note, that is all I have to share with you for today. Hopefully I'll be getting through these records soon. I'm gonna do another video about CDs coming up, and be sure to check out my live stream if you're available tomorrow. And I will see you all soon. All right, take care. Good night.